Hey guys, it's the Wii Viewer!
And the littlest Wii Viewer!
And we're gonna review
Scribblenauts Unmasked.
for the Wii U. Hey, I just realized something. This is the second review in a row, just the two of us. So I broke out the old intro. What'd you think of it?
That was awesome.
Yes, I can hear the sincerity in your voice. We like Scribblenauts Unlimited. What'd you think of this one?
It was really not as good.
I would agree with that. It's definitely a different type of game. It's the same basic idea. Write words to create them in the worlds, and you can use that to interact with the people or things around you. But it's more of an action game than it is a puzzle game.
That is pretty true. It also penalizes you for reusing words, which is also not the best thing.
No, I disagree with that totally. That way it stops you from using the same words over and over again. It kind of forces you to think outside the box.
Thing is, solve a puzzle very cleverly using a lot of adjectives just to show off, and then you have this one where you need to use one of the adjectives that you used on that word.
You can still use it, it's just not worth as many points.
Yeah, and that's the point. It has a lot of grinding.
There is a lot of experience grinding or reputation grinding. So the story for this game is that
They were in an argument, and they were arguing who was the better superhero. So they
you
decided...
mean Batman or Superman?
Yeah.
Who do you think is the best superhero? Batman or Superman?
Superman, because he actually has superpowers.
No. Batman is the better superhero. I hate to break it to you, Superman is not smart.
But he's invincible.
Not really.
Partially.
Trust me, if Batman wanted to, he could easily take out Superman. We're not going to get into a Batman-Superman fight here, because this could go on all day. Basically, they go into the comic book, then their globe breaks, and all the Starites go out into the worlds, and they have to go collect them in order to get home again.
However, there is one thing I kind of don't understand about all those Starites flying. Supposedly, they all fly around, and you need to collect them all in order to leave, or at least enough. However, you can see a ton of them fly out, and yet there's only like 11 in the game.
Ooh, maybe they're setting up the sequel, Unmasked 2. Marvel Universe! But at least they try to do different things. Each time you go into a world, they randomize what's in the world. Each world has a story that you could do, but it also randomizes a bunch of events that you could get reputation points for, which you could use to unlock levels. But the whole hook of this game is that the DC universe is completely open to you. Like all the items and all the characters from it. You could just say a name like Bizarro, and Bizarro will show up. The game wasn't as much fun as the previous game, even with that hook.
I don't really think it changes much to the game.
Unlimited was more of a lean back in your seat and enjoy the game kind of feel. This one's more of, you better keep moving or something might come kill you game. Even if you're walking by, someone might attack you. And even if after you solve the puzzle, they might attack you. I was not expecting this to be an action game, and this game is not suited to be an action game.
I agree that it should be a puzzle game, but it kind of makes sense if you really think about the universe you're in.
Every DC character is available to create in the worlds, and that is quite impressive. Even better, there's a glossary of all the characters' names and a brief summary of who they are. It's really interesting to go through, as there's some really obscure ones in there. The way you select levels to go to is like in a comic book fashion, and I thought that was cool.
It was interesting.
And what I really liked was, even though it was really simple and kind of like a throwaway, they give you the origins of the 6 of the superheroes, and I thought that was kind of cool. Sure, it was short and you really didn't do much, but it was cool to watch. Everything that you could do in Scribblenauts Unlimited, you could do in this game, like create your own character mode and create your own items.
However, the create your own items you don't have access to all the time. You have to go to the hub area in order to use it.
I found this game more difficult than the previous game, and while that might not sound terrible to people who thought the previous game was too easy, this game was more difficult because it was more frustrating. Not because the puzzles were more difficult, just because the situations that you had to deal with were more annoying. The gamepad still works perfectly as a keyboard.
Yeah, it practically works the same as all the other Scribblenauts games.
In addition to being penalized for using the same word twice in the same world, there's also an optional quest when you see here we go. Mr. M will give you a handicap when it comes to the words that you can spell. If you accept his challenge, you can earn double the reputation points. The challenge is not easy, as sometimes it hampers you by only making you do words with the same letter, or making it so you can't make any weapons. It's completely optional, so if you don't think you're up for the challenge, don't accept it and move on. So littlest reviewer, Scribblenauts Unmasked. Would you buy, rent, or skip?
I don't know what to say about this one. I'd say the game doesn't have as much to do in it as previous games. So I just say I think it would work as a rent. And if you really want it, of course, buy.
And I agree with you. That's exactly what I would have said, rent. This is one of those weekend rentals. You could beat this game over a weekend. Sure, it's got really unlimited replayability because they have the randomized level designs with the reputation system. But you know what? After a while, it started to look like X is doing this to Y. You could totally tell they just add in the people's names and the situations. It didn't really feel that different. You should at least try it. It's not that great compared to the previous one. So I do think it's only worth a rent.